It is Friday afternoon and I have spent most of the day so far just catching up on a little YouTube work and also doing a little work around the house, just tidying up and getting some laundry going. Ruthie, our oldest, who is 13, is the one who is in charge of sweeping the floor. That's one of her chores. And clearly, I need to remind her. So if you are the only one who thinks that you are nagging your teenagers, I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. And I just got done kind of getting ready for the day. It's almost 2 o'clock and I just now fixed my hair, threw on some makeup, put on some clothes that weren't just my leggings and a t-shirt. I would not be wearing a dress for any other reason on this windy, blustery day in Oklahoma than the fact that I'm taking 2 of my kids to a swim banquet tonight. They have a swim banquet after short course season, which just finished up. And I mean, I'm serious, the wind is blowing. It's gusting at like 50 miles per hour. And I know that this is Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, but that's just ridiculous. But I came into the kitchen so that I could find something to eat to break my fast. I've been fasting for, I don't know, how long have I been fasting? For 17 hours and 19 minutes-ish. So I'm getting ready to end my fast, boop, just like that, and have something to eat. It's actually Lent right now. By the time you see this, it'll be the last week of Lent, which is the 40 days, not counting Easter. I mean, not counting Sundays before Easter. And I do a little bit of fasting like for spiritual reasons, but I have also been playing around with intermittent fasting, not all the time, just maybe a couple days a week, just kind of playing around with it, maybe doing a 16-hour fast or a 20-hour fast, just a few times just to see how it makes me feel. I would really like to just lose a few pounds, but more than that, I just would really like to get like my snacking under control. And I find that when I, use this approach and I just, drink water and coffee and tea during my fasting window, and I just decide, I'm not going to eat anything, that I don't graze as much throughout the day. Obviously, because when you're fasting, you're not eating. But I'm saying that like when I commit to it and I know at the end of my fasting window, I'm going to have something to eat, then it's a little easier for me just not to like walk through the kitchen and just like nitpick little things throughout the day. Hubby is home today enjoying an actual like Friday sort of off like you're supposed to have. You want to tell him what you're doing tonight while I'm at the swim banquet?
I'm going to camp.
You can tell he's really excited to take our younger daughter to camp for the night. He'll be back tomorrow. You're such a good daddy.
Be back late in the day tomorrow.
You want all the credit. But 24 hours of dad credit.
But I get to go horseback riding.
Oh, there you go. Silver lining, honey. I ended up just slicing up this very large and slightly bruised apple. And I'm gonna take this little snack pack thing from Aldi. It has some little turkey sausage bites and cheese bites, like cheese cuts in here, because I need to hop in the mom van. So I figured I could snack on this while I'm running an errand. I just pulled into Ross. I've got to make a return. I ran in here yesterday and grabbed 4 black dresses to take home for Ruthie to try on, because I am that mom who didn't read the whole email about this banquet tonight. So I had no idea that there was a theme, and the theme is black and gold. Which, can I go on a rant for just a second? Red alert. I sometimes wish we could pull back from making everything for our kids this huge production and just putting a lot of extra stuff into our calendars. I know I sound like a negative Nelly. I'm grateful for the people who are organizing this banquet, but this is a swim club with a lot of just like 13 and under kids. And I realize it's a special thing, but what about like school dress up days? Can we do fewer of those? Because I feel like every other week is some kind of spirit week and I have to come up with outfits for my kids. I've just stopped doing that. I've been like, if you don't have something in your drawers that you can come up with, we're not doing dress up days. But sometimes I feel like everything has turned into this huge production, right down to the very particular color of icing on the cupcakes that we sign up to send to the class party. And sometimes I'm like, it doesn't need to be that big of a deal. It takes away from the things that actually are a big deal. When everything gets a banquet, when everybody gets a trophy, like that kind of aspect. I don't know. But anyway, back to the dresses. We did find one that fit. She couldn't come with me because, of course, she's in swim practice all week long. So I just grabbed several. She chose one. I'm bringing the others back. And really, it's okay because she's in both choir and band, and she needs concert black for her concerts anyway. So it'll be something we can use again, because I thought I was going to be the smart mom and kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get a dress that she could wear both for Easter and for this banquet. But no, it's got to be black or gold. Or black and gold. I was reminded as I came in here that I needed to look for shoes. Tell me we're not the only family that has ever done this. We went on vacation last week, or over spring break 2 weeks ago, and we left 1 shoe in Texas. We left one shoe, one of Brick's shoes, so I've got to get him another pair of tennis shoes because we left one shoe behind. Did I mention it's super windy out today? Good morning. It is Saturday morning and I am getting up and around. Had a nice sleep, but time to get up now and get on with the day. Who else has a heater in their bathroom? Is it just me? To have a little space heater for the cold mornings. I try to wash my face at night, take my makeup off, wash my face at night. For the most part, I do that probably 80 to 90% of the time. Sometimes I fail at that, but I did not last night. I just wash my face in the evenings, so I don't usually like wash it with soap in the mornings because I have kind of dry skin. I just rinse my face off. And I have been using The Ordinary skincare for a few years now. It's really inexpensive. I even asked my dermatologist about it, if it was like worth using since it was so cheap, and she was like, oh yeah, that's a great brand. Those are great products. Let me tell you what you should use. So she actually recommended this. This is what I put on first. It is the azelaic acid suspension 10%. And then I use this, which is just the moisturizer. It's a natural moisturizer, factors plus HA, that's hyaluronic acid. I can never say that word, but basically this is just the moisturizer. And then I usually do some kind of sunscreen and let that sit for about 15 or 20 minutes before I put on any makeup. So sometimes I use this Elta MD UV Daily Broad Spectrum SPF 40. This has a little bit of a tint to it. It's slightly tinted so it doesn't have a white cast and it works well underneath my makeup. I got this from my dermatologist, but I'm not sure if you have to get this from a dermatologist. You might be able to just order it online. I just got it from her, it came recommended. But I'm probably gonna go sans makeup today. I try to go without makeup at least a day or two a week, just give my face a break. And so I think I'm gonna use the CeraVe sheer tinted. This is one of my favorites. I've been using this for a couple of years. Sometimes I can't get it all year round, but I still have some that I purchased just a few months back. So I'm gonna use some of that today instead of the one that I normally wear under my makeup. I feel like in this household, a day that I'm not doing laundry is a day that doesn't end in Y. I just dropped Brick off for a swim clinic this morning. It's over freestyle. That's really great because it's actually a stroke that he struggles with, which seems odd because freestyle is like the main stroke that they begin learning and that you build lots of other skills on. But Brick is a breaststroker and he's also pretty good at backstroke. He even got his turns down like into the wall. Like you have to time your turns if you're a swimmer, you know, or you're a swim parent, you know what I'm talking about. But freestyle is something he's really struggled with. So I'm hoping this helps. Yeah, all you parents out there on Saturday mornings, running the errands, doing the things, going to the soccer games and to the baseball fields, I'm with you. Hats off, except I'm not gonna take my hat off because my hair's in a ponytail and a mess. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna get some Starbucks, if I'm gonna be naughty and get Starbs. I rarely do that, but I'm really feeling it, like an oat milk latte. I don't have any oat milk at home. It's coming today, I think, in my Thrive Market box, but I did it. I got a honey almond milk flat white, and I don't mean to imply that getting Starbucks every day is naughty. If that is something that you have budgeted for, then go for it. Everybody has their splurges, right? I mean, some people get their nails done, some people have every streaming service under the sun. If you have budgeted to have Starbucks frequently, then you do you. I have no problem with that. It's just, it's a splurge for me, so I try to limit it to just like once or twice a month. But the honey almond milk flat white is one of my favorites. I usually have them reduce the number of like pumps of sweetener that are in it just so that it's not quite as sweet, but yummy. Just out for my first of hopefully several short walks on this beautiful spring day. I'm gonna need a few walks to reach my step goal, which I have recently rethought my daily step goal, and I've turned it into a weekly step goal instead, because I would start to get really discouraged and my perfectionist brain would like start freaking out when I only managed to make it to 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 steps. Not that I wasn't busy, not that I wasn't working, I just maybe didn't work at as many walks as I normally do. But when I started to think about it, 10,000 steps a day is 70,000 steps a week, which is a totally doable goal for me because there's plenty of days alongside those 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 step days when I get 10 or 11 or 12,000 steps. So basically by reframing that step goal and turning it to a weekly goal instead of a daily goal, when I opened up my Fitbit app this morning and I saw that I just need 11,000 steps today to make it to my 70,000 for the week. I'm like, oh, that's totally doable. Especially if I just take, you know, a few 10, 15 minute walks during the day, kind of putter around the house doing housework. That's going to be easy, as opposed to dwelling on those days when I didn't hit the 10,000 step mark. So just food for thought. Being outside, I can actually smell smoke, like from brush fires. The wind was high yesterday, as I mentioned, and along with the danger to like trees and power lines, an entire section of our fence is down in our backyard. It's a fire danger, as you know, if you live in areas that are prone to that. And I know that there are some that started yesterday and moved quickly thanks to 50-mile-per-hour gusts. So thinking about all of the workers and the fire station staff who are out trying to remedy that. I normally try not to work on the weekends, or at least Saturday and either Friday or Sunday if I can help it. But I am taking several days off, I guess you could say, or I'm just like not working very much at all. I'm not posting new videos during Holy Week or at the end of Holy Week. You should be seeing this one, I think, like Monday or Tuesday of Holy Week, and then it'll be after Easter before I post anything new. If you're just stumbling upon this video, or you're new to my channel, we are a clergy family. My husband works in the ministry and we're heavily involved in the church. So obviously Holy Week, kind of a big deal, and we have stuff Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I just want to be present for that. So I'm trying to just like wrap up whatever I need to wrap up so that I can kind of shut my computer for the most part next week. So right now I'm trying to put in a Walmart grocery order so I can have the ingredients for this video delivered to my house, because I want to try to film this tomorrow if I can. Where is it? There it is. I am prepping all of our dinners for next week in one go. So I'm gonna prep 5 dinners, and all I'll have to do then is like reheat them or throw them into the crock pot, which will be great for our week since it's a busy week with it being Holy Week. And also I just thought it might be really helpful to somebody out there. So I'm planning to do, let's see, what did I come up with? Thai peanut chicken satay. I'm really excited about that because that's new to us. I'm gonna do a sheet pan meal with steak and gnocchi. I'm gonna do a crock pot soup that I can throw in the slow cooker later that week. I'm gonna do some sandwiches and then like a pasta bake. So look for that video to go up. I think it's gonna go up the week after this one does. I should have 2 videos that week. One of them is already with my editor. It is a budget meals video. I just finished that one a few days ago, and it is 3 dinners plus dessert for less than $30. So look for that one to go up about a week, you know, 6 or 7 days after this one. And then look for this one that I'm shopping and filming for to go up sometime after that. I just finished reading The Last Olympian, which is the 5th book in the first Percy Jackson series, the 5th and final book in that series. I have wanted to read these for a while, and I picked up the first one, I think more than once, and just couldn't get past the first few chapters. I've always had kind of a soft spot for YA fiction. I don't know why, I just enjoy it, especially the series. I just couldn't get past those first few chapters, but what finally got me over the hurdle is the fact that my 2 daughters, my 2 oldest children, have read them and loved them. And in fact, I would say that this series, and also Gregor the Overlander, which I think was written by Suzanne Collins, the same writer who wrote The Hunger Games, I would say that those 2 series are responsible for my oldest daughter becoming such a voracious reader. I think that's when I really started to see her get into reading. So I wanted to read those, especially since there's a series coming out soon. I think it's through Disney, and I think Rick Riordan, the author, is like heavily involved with it. I've got a whole stack of books here that I have finished reading besides all of the Percy Jackson stuff. The Scarlet Pimpernel is a read over for me. I read it back in high school or college and really enjoyed it, so it's kind of nice to read back through that again. Jesus Revolution, I read this before the movie came out, and the movie was kind of a disappointment for me. I mean, it was okay, but I feel like it took a lot of liberties. That being said, the book is also just okay for me. It almost feels like 2 different books, or like it was written by 2 different people, because halfway through the book it just felt like the overall tone and writing style changed, and it shifted from a story about the Jesus Revolution to a story about Greg Laurie. But if you can find a copy, it was kind of hard for me to find one. I don't know if it's maybe not been printed since it was published, but if you can find a copy, you enjoyed the movie, you probably will like the book, and it's very, very different. I feel like, at least the events among all the characters, especially Greg Laurie and his wife. The book tells a different story. I have discovered the Lady Darby mystery series. It starts with The Anatomist's Wife, and then I've also read Mortal Arts and A Grave Matter. And these two I actually read in, I think this one, the second one I read in less than 2 days, and this one I finished in about 24 hours. If you like, you know, period romance and mystery, if you like Jane Austen novels, especially if you like kind of the pre-Victorian Gothic style novels like Jane Eyre, and you like mysteries, especially murder mysteries, then you would probably enjoy these. It does seem like the author has done her homework when it comes to this era, because she gives a lot of descriptive detail about the clothes and the architecture and just the mannerisms and the overall culture. And they mostly take place in Scotland, or on the Scotland-England border. So it's very interesting. I do, however, want to give a little bit of a warning that these are murder mysteries, and that sometimes the murders are just a little bit gruesome. And especially in the case of the first book, The Anatomist's Wife, if you are a woman who has recently suffered a loss in the way that only a woman can, I would warn about these books, because it might be kind of triggering. You would just want to do some research, especially about the very first one and the victim in the first book. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I have obviously enjoyed them. So I am reading the fourth one, which is A Study in Death, and I already have the fifth one, which is As Death Draws Near. And I just really enjoy all the characters that she introduces, not just the two main ones. And I think the mysteries are pretty good, even if the endings do seem a little bit, can I just say, they're just a little bit predictable, or they almost seem kind of rushed, like she's trying to tie everything up at the end and throwing a lot of information together. But still really enjoy them, obviously, or I wouldn't be reading through them with such speed. My husband just finished this book. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and I'm adding it to my to-read stack because he really liked it, so he recommended it. I've also mentioned over on Instagram that I'm reading Another Gospel by Elisa Childers, and honestly, this has been a fantastic read for me. I'm taking my time with it because there's so much to digest with each chapter. I'm like underlining things and taking notes. And for me, this is a really good apologetics resource, and I have just very much enjoyed reading it, and I identify with a lot of the things that she went through that brought her to write this book. I've enjoyed it so much that I've already ordered her next book, which is Live Your Truth and Other Lies. So I'm gonna dive into that one once I'm done with Another Gospel. Good morning. It is Sunday. It is Palm Sunday, to be exact. Kenna and Daniel, my husband, got home yesterday afternoon from camp. They had a good time. I got lots of really great pictures and video that Daniel sent me, especially of the horseback riding. We just had a really relaxing evening. We read and watched Final Four basketball and just kind of unwound. Unwound, is that even a word? We decided it was time to unwind, so that's what we did while we were unwinding. And I just ordered pizza, and I order takeout about once a week. I try to limit it to once a week, but sometimes it's twice a week. But I usually just need a break from cooking, and we get takeout or we go out to eat, and that's just real life. And if there's anything I'm passionate about on this channel, it is showing you guys realistic, helpful things. Like, I want to be helpful. I don't want to waste your time. I try to think about ways that videos can be helpful. Even this little vlog, I hope that it's helpful and that it just is showing like a regular mom in her regular house with our average family, kind of going through the weekend, doing some of the things that you're doing. There's nothing really special about me. I mean, there are special things about everybody, but I just mean there's not something like different about me, I think, from other moms. When it comes to my regular content, because I don't do a lot of vlogs here on this channel, I do try to be intentional, just like you would with almost any other job, right? You put your best foot forward in your work, and you take time to plan things, and you take time to make that presentation be fantastic, or to make sure that, you know, the work that you're doing is the standard of excellence that you want to uphold. So I do try to approach my videos with that in mind, but I also really, really want to be realistic, because I think that there is a lot out there on social media, especially for women and especially for moms, that paints this really unrealistic picture of what just kind of your ordinary everyday households look like. And I don't want to contribute to that. I want to be helpful in a kind, positive, and realistic way. And that means that sometimes we order pizza, among other just regular, average, real life happenings in this house. Ruthie and I are heading in now. My husband brought the babies earlier. I mean, we still call them the babies sometimes, even though they're 9 and 10. They came early to wave palms at the 8 o'clock service, and then they're singing. The children's choir is singing at our 9 and 11 o'clock services both by themselves and with the choir and orchestra. So should be a really great Palm Sunday. Well, unfortunately, my time at church was cut short because McKenna does not feel well. She says that her tummy hurts. She made it through the processional. Then she was in tears after that, saying her stomach hurts. So I figured I better bring her home. So bless her heart. I hope that it is just something that she ate and that it's not a stomach bug that is about to go through the house. Oh, fingers crossed. Or I should say, dear Lord, please watch over us, bring us health. But poor thing, she is resting upstairs in her bed now, so I'm hoping that she's gonna feel better soon. She seems to be a little bit better now that she's home, so we'll just wait and see. I did say I'm all about being real, right? And kids get sick. If you've got kids, you know this. They get little bugs, and we have to adjust and drop what we're doing and take care of them. So we'll hope that this is very short-lived, but it is what it is. It happens when you've got kids. If you know, you know. I just finished filming this video where I prepped 5 meals for my family, basically our week's worth of dinners, in an hour. And I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to do it. So you'll be seeing that in another week or so. And I'm getting ready to make up some lunch, but I'm kind of nervous. You know how when you have a kid who's sick and you wonder, okay, is this going to run through the rest of the household? So you're kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to eat if I'm about to get sick, but I'm going to because I'm hungry. Lunch today is leftovers, per the usual, most of the time for me. And this is actually leftover from that budget meals video that's getting ready to come out. These were kind of like sort of like Greek style bowls. So there's ground turkey, cooked ground turkey, and some roasted chickpeas and rice. And then I made sort of like a tzatziki style dip. I had to make it with sour cream instead of with yogurt, but it was so good. Even my husband was like, man, this is really good. You need to make this more often, but it was super simple. So look for that to be coming out next week, like I said. McKenna is doing much better. Whatever she has, or maybe even had at this point, seems to have subsided. I don't know, maybe it was just something she ate. Who knows? Just fingers crossed that nobody else in the house gets it, like I said. But kids just seem to bounce back from that so much faster than adults. In fact, she was already buzzing around outside. I had to send her back upstairs. She was coming down to ask what's for dinner. And she was relaying to me how disappointed she was that she had to leave church early because they were going to get cupcakes after the palm branches came in. After they processed in with the palm branches. And I'm like, honey, you have been sick. You can't have that stuff. You know, trying to explain to her, because it's been so long, I guess, since we've had anything like this, or since she has been sick with like a stomach bug, like explaining to her, you know, tonight you're probably just going to have maybe some ginger ale and crackers and, you know, maybe a little bowl of soup or something like that. But I don't know, kids. You may have noticed there was a lot of time missing from these vlogs in the evenings. One thing my husband and I have been making an effort to do more of in the evenings is getting away from work. For him, that means not checking his email. In fact, he took his email off of his phone. And for me, it means, you know, not checking in on YouTube and not, you know, responding to comments and stuff like that in the evenings, and actually putting our phones down, closing our laptop, reading more, and, you know, just spending more time with our kids, maybe playing games. As it gets warmer, being able to sit outside or go for walks in the evening. And I have to tell you, it has made a huge difference. I mean, I know correlation is not causation, but I can't ignore how strong the correlation is to how much better I'm sleeping, how much less stress I feel, how much like better our relationships are with each other, with our kids, for making a conscious effort to just shut it down. And when you think about it, it's really kind of alarming how foreign that concept is, because really, even just as soon as 25 years ago, even just 25 years ago, I feel like it would have been like unheard of to expect people to continue working into the evening, save for a few professions where it's natural, like if you do shift work or if you were a doctor who's on call or something. But I just mean for somebody to stay so connected to where they work on into the evening hours, and the first thing when you get out of bed in the morning and like you pull up your email or your schedule or your social media or something like that and check check to see how things are going. Like, that would have been very, very odd 25 years ago. I mean, people would have had to wait until they were in their place of work for the most part to be able to engage in that work, and they would have had to reach a stopping point and then go home. And yes, we had phones and you could get calls if there were emergencies or something like that, but I'm just saying it's so crazy how quickly that has changed and how we almost feel an anxiety when we're not connected to our work and to the rest of the world via the internet, you know what I mean? And yes, I do see the irony in what I'm saying since I work in social media, but all the more reason why, especially the past several months, as I've really thought about what I want my channel to be, I've tried to be respectful of people's time and make sure that what I am doing is helpful, you know, and like I said, that it's kind, positive, realistic. I keep those 4 words rolling through my head when I am filming, when I am planning, when I am engaging with my audience, because I not only want this to be a positive place, my tiny little corner of the internet to be a positive place, I want it to be something that's useful. I also see the irony in the fact that this is a vlog and there may not be something that's just apparently useful, like it's not so apparent what the use is for a daily vlog, or in this case a weekend vlog. But where vlogs are concerned for me when I watch them, usually it's to feel a sense of camaraderie. It's to go through the day with somebody maybe who is going through the same things that I'm going through, or maybe in the same season of life, and just feeling this sense of like solidarity, like, yes, okay, somebody else who has to battle the laundry every day, somebody else who is sometimes just trying to make it through their evening shuttling kids around, or, you know, there's just some type of comfort in knowing that other people are in the trenches with you, you know? But yeah, I do think it is important to set it down, to disengage. If you've been waiting for your sign, to do that. If you've been waiting for that proof, that feeling that you feel of, I think I need to delete this social media app from my phone, or I think I need to put my phone in the charging drawer by 8 o'clock every night. I think I need to make a no phones allowed at the dinner table rule. If you've been waiting for your sign to follow through with it, then this is it. I'm talking to you right now, because I'm telling you, my husband and I have had less and less screen time, that we've been making an effort to really address the stress that brings into our life, and it has made a difference. I'm telling you, it's made a huge difference. If it were more my niche, I could do an entire video just on this topic, but instead I'm gonna sign off of this one, and I'm not even gonna give you other videos to watch up here like I normally do, because I hope that I'm encouraging you to sign off, to power down, to unwind, to go read that book, take that bubble bath, play a game with your kids, spend some time with your spouse. You deserve it.